I don't know what that was. But hello, I'm back. I know that I'm still fresh in the game, but I'm just so eager to be making this video because this topic is something I just truly struggle with, and I think that's why it's perfect that I'm making it. It's currently 12, and that's when my brain gets going. That's when I'm fired up and ready to rumble. So what better time to make a creation like such? I just wanted to make a little bit of a disclaimer to everybody before I begin this beautiful, beautiful chit chat that I'm about to have with you. Those of you who know me might be very confused as into why I am creating this video, because I'm probably one of the most hyperactive people I've ever actually met in my life. I am considerably obnoxious with my energy to some, which is okay. You know, I'm comfortable with that. You are entitled to your opinion, and I understand. But personally, I felt the need to create this for those who have restless minds but are craving a type of peace. And that's exactly where I've been sort of in recent days. I have been just so stressed out in life almost, and just sort of tense, compacting all these nerves. So the methods I'm about to share are involving the mind, the body, and the spirit, and how I personally cope with stress and manifest it into peace. It's not something that everyone's going to be comfortable doing, or these might not be perfect for you, but it's definitely a starting point for those who are just in a place that is bringing them turmoil of any sorts, or at least it is a comfortable place that I brought myself to over the years. And I just hope that this helps you sort of remember that you are only human and life is chaotic. So you are totally given the opportunity to understand yourself in new ways that make you comfortable with who you are and what you're going to be doing. And if you're not comfortable having a good old chit chat around with your homegirl, then I understand that. But if you want to learn something or potentially pick something up, you should just definitely stick around. I could offer you at least some like comedic relief off of your opposing opinions with mine. It's up to you. But I would love you to stick around and just hear me out, okay? Because these are truly some things that just bring me to better places, and I hope they do the same for you. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, mind. It's so funny because I'm truly a disaster, and this is like the blind leading the blind. But thanks for listening. So, to begin with mind, I really did want to dive into more of the area of understanding more that you have power over your emotions more than you think. And rather it be that you're not an emotional person, you know, and you sort of suppress everything and you just seem chill on the outside and you seem consistently happy day after day, or you're someone who more avidly expresses them and cries a lot or gets angry a lot. You're entitled to both of those things, but you do have the opportunity to claim them, to make them your own, and feel more in control, and not to an unhealthy amount, but bring you to a place that you have the power to be who you want to be and express yourselves in healthier ways. The ways I personally do this would be through metacognition. And when I say that a lot, I feel like I use that term toward people and they get freaked out, so like, oh, that's a big word. But it really does just mean thinking about what you're thinking about. And sounds kind of stupid at first, but really it is the most simplistic, intelligent thing that brings you not immediate happiness, but it is just such a great catalyst to getting you there, to accessing that happiness. And thinking about what you're thinking about implicates that you're going to be creating a platform of just positive energy, positive thoughts to put into yourself. Because if you're going to want to create good things, you're gonna want to put some form of positivity and joy into your life. That's gonna have to include you bringing yourself above your circumstance. And your circumstance is not any lesser or any greater than anybody else. First of all, let's get that straight. That no matter how problematic your life may be, you're totally allowed to feel however you want about it. But if you're keeping mindfulness as your main priority of your day before you hop out of bed in the morning, if you lay there and say, today is going to be a good day, I'm going to create a good day, put myself in good environments, involve myself with the right people, you're going to stray toward better things. That's just common ground right there. I promise you that. But setting goals for yourself, especially with mindfulness, is going to be your first step to success and gaining any type of just peace. And it is okay to be caught up in things, especially when you are of a younger age. It's only natural. We live in a world that is so hungry to produce and grow and manufacture and be creative that we have failed to let ourselves rest at all. And I think we've forgotten that work comes from rest. Rest does not come from work. And I've heard that recently, and it really hit me, that we can't create things unless we have built ourselves up. You have to be able to create something within yourself that is steady and strong and healthy and peaceful before you can duplicate those things. It's okay to linger in that rest for some time. If you are dictating the type of day you're going to have, it's going to change the way you see things immaculately. And if you're listening to me and you're thinking, oh, this is a bunch of hippy dippy bullcrap, I'm totally fine with that, because the amount of people who tell me that is immense. But when I tell you I have had a very, very trial and tribulation situation with my past and have came out of it strong, you can do the exact same thing. It is not as hard as people make it seem. And I'm not lessening your situation or your circumstance, but I'm telling you that this is an opportunity to claim it. Whether or not you're going to let your circumstance dictate your future, or whether or not you're going to let it fuel your future. Because there is a big difference there. There's a gap in the outcomes. One of those outcomes has you eternally doing something that you may not always love, and the other one is you always being happy no matter what you're doing. Because I'm going to tell you right now that this world will forever be throwing terrible things at you. It's forever going to have your car breaking down, your family in shambles, your grades going to crap, your relationships in flames, because that's life, and it's beautiful and messy and terrible. But I promise you that the moment you learn to control your emotion behind it, it makes it such a beautiful opportunity for you to celebrate smaller things. So although that might seem like a big concept, just remember that it is thinking about what you're thinking about before you start your day. Emulate it onto others, and to just put that good energy in your life and put yourself in a new place of peace. You have that opportunity every single day, and I think it's almost stupid to let it go by. Why waste another day being unhappy or entirely at loss when you can gain so many things from it? Gain a moment or gain a relationship that will positively influence your life and just fill you up rather than drain you. Hating is so much harder, let me tell you. Hating is so much harder. Next, we are moving on to the body. I'm sorry.
I'm getting parched. So sorry.
But the body is just as important as the other two aspects. I really do tend to focus on one of the three more heavily at a time, but it is important to keep that balance. Can't stress it enough. But sleep is the first thing on the list that is probably going to benefit you in so many ways that you would not imagine. Personally, sleep is my biggest enemy. I am terrible at sleeping. I really am. It is, for example, it is now 12:45 and I'm just getting started. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to write a book. I'm ready to ride a bike. I'm ready to take a shower. I'm ready to watch a Netflix series. I'm ready to do some push-ups. I'm ready to make some oatmeal. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it were up to me, I would just have 24 hours a day, no sleep ever. Probably in my own head and heart be thriving, which is probably an issue in itself. I've grown to gravitate a little more towards sleep as I've gotten older because I've realized the importance of it. I've realized that without at least 5 hours of sleep a night, I cannot function. Rest is just as important as play because your body is not able to function properly. Neither is your mind, neither is your heart, if you have not let yourself time to recuperate. And some tips for that, if you are bad at sleeping, like myself, I have truly, more than anything, learned to love sleep spray. And it sounds kind of dumb, but setting up your sanctuary is so important. It is so important. Making sure that you have a special and sacred place to release all of your toxins, worries, and stress, and understand that just this area was made for you to sleep, rest, and relieve yourself of any worries. Another way to do this is to make sure you are not doing your homework in your bed, whether it be you're in college, whether it be you're in high school, middle school. It is just best to stay out of your bed when you're doing your homework. A, because it sets your mind up that this environment and this place is for work, but that's not the case. And B, while you're doing your homework, you might be starting to fall asleep and your productivity is gonna go down and plummet. Another thing that I honestly, personally struggle with as well is snacking in bed. I'm so bad at that. All day long, I'm like, oh, I ate a salad today. I had like a cup of coffee and like a grain of oat. Ugh. I get so excited, you know? I'm like, wow, I did great. And the second it's like 10 o'clock, I'm pounding sleeves of Ritz crackers in my mouth while I'm in bed. And that's terrible for you. Any sort of food past dinner time is bad for you because it tells your brain, oh, it's time to go. Like, let's get fired up. Let's get razzed. It's giving you energy and it's packing the punch for the day, even though it's nighttime. So it's stirring you up when you should be snooze time. And I'm not saying don't eat because eating is quintessential to survival. But definitely don't do it after dinner time because you're going to stay up a little later. And if you eating chocolate, you better believe you're having some funky dreams. Like, you're going off the deep end type dreams. Another thing that helps me with my sleep is lavender. She hits a certain way. And I'm not trying to be one of those people who's all like, aromatherapy, man. I love my diffuser. But like, kid you not, diffuser oils, they'll probably change your life. Once you have your bed, your fresh sheets on, fresh sheets, they help me sleep so well. Changing your pillowcase often, first of all, it helps you prevent acne, and you can get that good smell of fresh laundry while you're sleeping, puts you in this peaceful, at ease mindset. Next thing, other than sleep, that is just as important and equally, is your health. Oh my goodness, people, your health. Whew. And health as in dietary health. What you're eating, what you are consuming. The stuff that goes inside of you is created to fuel you for the day. You just cannot put high fructose corn syrup in your gasoline tank of your car and expect it to run right, okay? We were not made to chug all the salts and sugars, that all the food that we have processed and packaged available for us at the local Kroger today. We were just not created to consume the amounts that we do of that, especially as Americans, because it is okay to allow yourself chocolate and sweets here and there, because it is not about whatsoever what you look like. It is about how you feel. And the second you start eating things that are fresh, like your fruits and your veggies, and if you do eat meat, you're eating meat that is lean meat or it is lighter meat, it's going to get you in a lighter mood. It's going to make you feel fresher and think clearer. If you're putting tons of hormones, sugar, chemicals into your body, it's going to make you lethargic. It's going to give you acne. So trust me, I'm low-key a hypocrite, and I'm not a guru of any sorts, especially not with health, even though I try and act like I am. I'm gonna go ahead and eat a little bit of chocolate. I'm gonna pound me down them Ritz crackers. I do splurge. Everybody splurges. And I'm not saying you should eat this specific diet, but especially you should just hone in on what works for you. What is best for you. You know when you're pushing your limits or when you're not eating enough or eating too much. Do what is right for you, what makes you feel best. But definitely some pointers from that are just simple fruits and vegetables that give you that like firecracker energy for the morning. Do not skip breakfast. You can eat the most amount of calories at that meal of the day. It's my favorite meal of the day just because of that. I can just inhale, vacuum as much as I want to eat, and it is a gorgeous, beautiful thing. So do not skip that opportunity. Eat all you want. Other 2 meals a day, please try and be conscious. But start your day off with, I don't know, an egg sandwich that you're cooking up. It takes a few minutes. Make an oatmeal bowl. Throw some berries, some fruit, some kiwi, some mangoes. Eat a banana with peanut butter. I don't know. But it will definitely start your day in a new way. Throw some coffee in there. Coffee. If you're not an addict, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the very last thing that I'm kind of nervous to talk about and get into is spirituality. Because I get so passionate about this, and this is the part where people usually get scared or go away. But just hang tight with me. I promise you're going to get some good out of it. To begin with, if you're not conscious of your spirit and you try and act like it doesn't exist and focus on just material things, you genuinely are just going to grow weary in ways you didn't know you could. You have this sort of void. And there are times when I can tell that I'm ignoring my spirit more than anything, because that is when I feel the most empty. And it's maybe not that all these terrible things are in my life. It's that I am not being aware that I have an innermost being, that I have a creator, that I came from somewhere, and I have to recognize that. It's not a machine. You are not a machine. You are not a robot. You came from something, from somewhere. And praying is one of those things where I feel like I am just most at home. And it's something I feel like I neglect, yet I yearn for it most, but it's right in front of me. And that's so weird to say, because praying is so simple and it is so easy, and it is a beautiful way to connect with your creator, someone who made everything and did everything for you. It is a way to give thanks. It's not always easy. It's not. But it's something I need to get better at doing more often, at least. I try to before bed and before I eat. But I think that it brings you closer to that point of gratitude, like I said. And if you do want to have that ultimate peace, that ultimate love for life and love for yourself, you have to be at peace with the one who made you. That is just the give all. And that seems to be the one that's hardest for most people, which is something that's understandable. I get that. And you don't need to be in love with religion. You don't need to necessarily be obsessed with the idea with church. Just have a little bit of faith, Have faith that you're going somewhere, that you have a purpose. You wake up every single day for a reason. You were not made on accident. And no matter the size of what you're doing, it is so important to everyday society that you are contributing yourself, that you're involving yourself, that you're being present. And I don't care if you work at TJ Maxx or if you are the CEO of P&G. I promise you, at the end of the day, we all have to go somewhere. We all have to feel something. And that's something that you can't forget. You can't neglect it. Especially when you're young, it is so easy to put it off and be like, oh, I'll talk to him tomorrow. Or, oh, I'll do that kind thing another day. Oh, I'll pay it forward another time. But now is that time. Now is your opportunity. You have to wake up with hunger because you don't know. You don't know when you're going to have the type of opportunities you do today. Your urgency is going to flood you the second you start creating that relationship. I'm not necessarily saying you have to start somewhere complicated. Just start with a prayer. That is what cleanses me. That is what heals me. And that is what is home for me. Sounds kind of cliche. And I don't care because that's who I am. That's what I am. And that's what I feel comfortable with. The next thing is I really wanted to share sort of my mantra that I live by, that I give to other people, that I preach with. And it's that, yet again, no one in this life owes you anything. Remember that. Nothing at all. Not time, not attention, not money, not love. So anytime you get the slightest trace of any of those things, hold on to them. Understand their divinity, their rarity, and how precious they are. I think not enough people understand that you don't have to dedicate attention or love or I don't know anything. I think everyone brushes it off. I don't think people invest enough of themselves into others anymore. And even if you feel like you wake up in the morning and things are unclear, you're like, what's my purpose? What do I do? Where do I go from here? How am I supposed to do that? I'm like a plebeian on the food chain. Know this. Know that you do have a simple task, a simple thing to accomplish, and it's being a server of the Lord. And I'm sorry if you're not Christian and if this is getting preachy, but it is so worth doing. It is so worth loving people. It's worth holding that door or paying for that meal or just giving yourself away. Not enough people do it. And if we all give a little bit of ourselves away every single day, we're going to gain the world. But gain it in joy that is newfound. And I think that if we eclectically, especially as a generation, come together with that like-mindedness of service, there's absolutely nothing that is going to stop you from being joyful. That is going to stop you from loving harder. One more thing that I tend to focus on is comparison. I say it over and over that comparison is the thief of all joy and always will be. I think that social media has absolutely obliterated us. I mean, of course, it is amazing. It has been a platform and a catalyst for us to create new things, go new places, do insane things. And we've never had these opportunities before. I think that's amazing. But I think that we have become a society of mediocrity. We worship mediocrity to a point that we have been diseased by it. we don't care about anything except what other people think. And by living off of other people's approval, you're going 10 steps back every time you're pushing and pushing to move that one step forward. So wasting your time on other people's opinion or craving that hate for other people is just breaking you. And your spirit has got to be so exhausted. And I'm here to tell you and deliver the message that you're loved by someone, and you're loved by an entire group of people that are going to push you to want to love others more, love yourself more, and not for materialistic reasons of what your outfit looks like, how good your makeup is, how skinny you are. No, like, screw that. You're going to understand how stupid those things are. And don't think that I don't value fashion. I love fashion. One of my favorite things, you have a way to personalize and individualize yourself. I love individuality, but we have got to learn to stop tearing each other down for our differences, but celebrating our differences, because that is what makes our culture just so beautiful. It brings us closer together. And I think if we get more people to see that and just spread more love, it is going to bring such peace into your life. Just waking up and knowing you were made for a purpose, for a reason, is an amazing feeling. So, yet again, thank you so much for joining me for this incredibly long, disastrous shamble of words. But understand that I am thankful if you have made it through to this point. So cheers to you. Love you big time, brothers and sisters. I'll see you next time.